Okay, so this video clip focuses on Intel again. As you know, we're studying Intel as our case study of a light industry, a light factory that's located in Ireland. So now we're going to look at the reasons why Intel chose to locate in Leixlip. Now you've probably guessed a load of those reasons already. They need skilled workers. They can get them from the universities in Dublin and Maynooth. They need access to an airport. They're very close to Dublin Airport. They need access to a motorway. They're very close to the motorways. Our corporation tax is really low in Ireland. So of course they're going to locate because of that. So you already know a lot of these reasons. Now earlier on in a different video clip, we looked at the reasons why factories choose their locations. The reasons were access to resource materials, access to labour, access to transport, access to markets, services, capital, government, EU policy. So we're going to look at all of those reasons here, but I'm just going to state this now. You won't need to know all of these in detail. I would say pick 4. So 4 reasons why Intel chose to locate in Leixlip, and know those really well. Obviously, the more you know, the better. But if you want to narrow it down to 4. Okay, so one reason why they chose to locate here was because of their resource materials. So let me run you through that. Intel is a light industry. They use light resource materials such as silicon wafers, components, transistors, all of those things. They're light products. When they come into the factory, they've come in through a truck. They're light, okay? So they bring in those light materials, first of all, through Dublin Airport. Now, when you're a factory in Ireland and you need your resource materials, they're either light or they're heavy. If they're heavy, they're shipped in from abroad, okay? So they come in via the port. If you are a factory that needs light raw materials, resource materials, they come in through an airport. Ideal. Most of you are thinking of going to the airport for holidays. That's us going on a holiday to Spain or France. Whereas a lot of the planes in airports are also cargo planes bringing in resource materials to factories in Ireland. So these light resource materials can be imported in by air via Dublin Airport. So it made total sense for Intel to locate Leixlip, and even in the picture in front of you, you can see Leixlip is so close to Dublin Airport. So it just made sense for them to locate in Leixlip, quick and easy access to Dublin Airport to import their resource materials. A second reason why they located in Leixlip is because of labour. Firstly, they're a high-tech manufacturer. It's a complicated process manufacturing microchips, so they need access to a highly skilled, educated workforce. They have access to those skilled graduates from the nearby universities of Dublin, Maynooth and elsewhere. Another big reason why they located in Leixlip is because they can they need a lot of workers. They employ 4,500 people directly and indirectly. So they've huge access to workers in Leixlip, in nearby Maynooth, Newbridge, Naas, Athy, even in the suburbs of Dublin. So there's no shortage of workers. It would be kind of silly for them to locate in a rural area where they've no access to skilled workers or there's very low population. So that was a big factor. A third thing that attracted them to locate here were the excellent transport facilities near to Leixlip. So when in Leixlip, they're very close to the M4. Have a look at the picture there in front of you. Have a look at Leixlip. Leixlip is literally 2 kilometres away from the M4 motorway. And the M4 motorway links up to the M50. So when you're in Leixlip and you want to send out your microchips, they're finished, you get them on the truck, Leixlip, at the factory in Leixlip, the truck leaves the factory, drives 2 kilometres, it joins up with the M4 motorway, and the motorways are brilliant because you don't have as much traffic as such, and you have quick access. So the M4 brings it straight onto the M50 ring road that you can see in front of you, and the ring road brings it straight up to Dublin Airport. So it's excellent access to the M4, the M50 and Dublin Airport, which means that you can get things done fast, quick and easy. Okay, so you can see there that's a really good picture actually. It explains the location of the Intel factory and it shows the direction of the M4 motorway, so it's very close to it. Okay, another reason why I chose to locate in Ireland was because of markets. Intel is a multinational company. It has access to a global market. It sells to countries all over the world. So it needs access to the market. Now, firstly, I suppose because it makes microchips and they're a light product, it doesn't matter where it locates its factory, because it can get the light product to the factory or to the customer really quickly, because it can fly it there. So it doesn't really have to locate close to its customer. So its markets are global, nationwide, but that doesn't matter really here, because it can get access to the customer quickly via airport. I suppose an important thing to mention here, and I don't have it on the slide, is Intel sell globally. By locating in Ireland, they've access to the European Union market, and we all have free trade. So that's a really, really good market to access. Okay, a fifth reason why they located in Leixlip is access to good services. So first of all, they need a lot of water in the processing of the microchips. They get that from the nearby river Liffey. You can see it running very close to Leixlip there. And they need access to purified water. It needs to be clean. They need access to electricity. There's excellent electricity services there, and that's supplied by Electric Ireland. And telecommunications are absolutely brilliant up there as well. The 4G and possibly the 5G is available to them soon as well. They need to be able to video conference and email their customers abroad. Another reason why they chose to locate in Ireland is because of capital. I suppose, well, it's not really, I suppose they chose to invest in Ireland. But they have a lot of money. They're worth a fortune. They sell so many products. They're a global company. They have huge profits. They are investing even more money back into their factory at the moment, researching, even in the Irish plant, they're researching into what next microchip they can make. You can be guaranteed they've made the microchip for 2030. They're probably researching the one for 2040 at this stage. They have also pumped a lot of money back into upgrading and expanding the factory in Leixlip. So that's a really good sign for Ireland that they're willing to stay here and stick around. Another big thing that attracted Intel here and attracts a load of American, I suppose, factories to come to Ireland is the government and EU policy. Firstly, the Irish government, through the Industrial Development Authority, gave them a load of grants and tax incentives to locate here. We also, and I don't have it in the slide here, I've mentioned to you about our corporation tax. It's really low, 12.5%. So they save a fortune. Their taxes that they have to pay are really, really low. That's why the likes of America and Donald Trump and even the French government are always going mad at Ireland, because our corporation tax is really low, whereas other countries' corporation tax is much higher. And they're saying to us, it's unfair because factories will locate over with E, creating loads of jobs with E because they have hardly any tax to pay. And we're losing jobs in our country because they're choosing to close up here. So I think as long as we can keep on to that corporation tax, it'll keep jobs going in the country. We really, really need it to keep our economy going. So it's a good thing. It attracts companies and factories in here. Finally, preferences of entrepreneurs and local communities. Let me just explain that to you. The Leixlip plant, the Intel located on a greenfield site, a former stud farm. At the time when they were planning and looking for planning permission to locate the factory there, very, very few people objected. The locals welcomed them because it was a very, very clean, modern factory. There's no pollution or emissions out of it, as opposed to like a factory that's literally pumping out loads of fumes out of it or something like that. So they were happy that it was a clean factory. The locals were also really, really happy to welcome Intel into the locality in Leixlip, because it employs loads of people, 4,500 people. So they want to keep on to Intel, keep them sweet. So I hope I've explained that okay. So reasons why they chose to locate here: raw materials. They work with light raw materials, so they can easily bring them in via Dublin Airport and the motorways. It's light raw materials, easy to transport. Labour, they have access to skilled graduates in the nearby universities, and there's a huge access to a big population nearby to fill the jobs. Transport, they have access to the M4, the M50 and Dublin Airport, everything that they need to transport their products. They have access to a huge European market, and they can ship their product out to their market very easily because they work with a light product. Services, excellent access to purified clean water from the River Liffey, great access to electricity and telecommunications. Capital, they've reinvested back a lot of their profits and their money back into upgrading the plant and researching the next microchip that they want to produce. The government have been very good in encouraging them to locate here through the IDA with grants, tax incentives, low corporation tax. And the locals have welcomed them because they're a clean, non-polluting factory. They've created a lot of jobs. So I hope